Hey everyone, it's Sean and Julie from Chicory's Travels, and we are in Chicory's Travels studio. So we have a studio set up in our house, and we have this nice projection of our RV in the background. So it looks like we're outside, but really we're inside, as you can tell by our office chairs. But anyways, today we wanted to talk about how we made money while we were traveling full time. And it's not going to be the same for everyone. And you can see that we have lots of different sources of income because nothing's ever guaranteed. And you want to keep some type of revenue coming in, even if something else gets cut off. So we'll talk a little bit about that as we go through. And really, we're going to go through these kind of from highest to lowest, maybe
Okay.
in revenue. And so our first and our main source is our income associated with the military retirement. So Julie and I did our 20 years in the military, so we do get a pension and some disability, but we realize that that is not guaranteed forever. A lot of people think that it's a pension, it's a government pension, you'll get it forever, but you never know what's going to happen. And many people used to think that if you were retired military, you would get free health care forever. And now we're starting to pay more and more every year for our health care benefits. So it's nowhere near what most people pay, but still, it's not free. And so we think that having additional sources of income beyond that military associated pension is important because it's not guaranteed forever.
And to that point, we're even still investing in retirement funds, in a 401k and IRAs, because like Sean said, it's not guaranteed. Any Congress could come up and decide that they're going to change that. So we are trying to invest some of that now while we're still having these other streams of revenue.
And then probably our second highest stream is remote work. So Julie used to work remotely, but then when we started Chicory's Travels, she started managing that more. But I still work remotely, and again, it's just another source of income. And if you don't have the skills if you don't have the skills now to find a remote job, it's pretty easy to get skills on the internet. There's lots of free courses, especially with like computer related stuff, coding, things like that. You can pick up remote work, and there's websites like Flex Jobs and things like that that offer a lot of remote work positions that you may be surprised at what you can do remotely now, and you're able to do that. So
yeah, and let me just interrupt you for a minute, because I love to bring up the example of Sean, because it's really important for you to be open-minded about remote work. A lot of people think, oh, my job can't be done remotely, so cross that one off for me. And Sean is a perfect example of that, because when he was in the Air Force, he managed and worked in a hospital laboratory. You obviously can't pack up a hospital laboratory in the RV. So how were you able to work from home with that type of background?
Yeah, so I was able to find a job in research, and actually the labs that I work with now are traveling labs. And so I do traveling to them instead of being stationary. So it's really worked out well. And really, that type of job is perfect for remote work as long as we have a computer connection. And now with coronavirus, everybody at the company is working remotely. And so we all, they're getting used to the idea of remote work and using Skype and Zoom and things like that for meetings. And it hasn't seemed to affect us at all.
And that's happening more and more across the country, where people who are working in an office or were working in an office maybe through March, suddenly their offices have pivoted. So it might be the great time to ask your boss, hey, seeing how we are doing this remote work now, how would you feel about extending that. I do want to segue just a little bit and talk about another video that we have at this point, because we're talking about remote work. And maybe not only do you not feel it's suited towards your skills or experience, maybe you're just not interested in it. You want to work outside, say. So I do want to say that work camping is another option of a way to get a full-time income. Now, if you're retired and just want to use it to reduce expenses, you could actually call it volunteering at state and national parks, where you're just doing it maybe 15 hours a week in exchange for a site. But you can also do it as a full-time job and not only get the site, but get a wage as well. And we will put a link to an interview that we did just a couple months ago with the Henleys Happy Travels. Levi and Natalie are much younger than we are, and they are working full-time, and they call it seasonal work camping. And what they mean by that is they travel around the country and take jobs from as short as 3 weeks, I think, is what's called the sugar beet harvest up in Minnesota, is it?
I think it's one of the Dakotas.
Okay. But anyhow, it's in the video. Go watch that video if you're interested in that. But then they also did like Amazon Work Camper Force, which it happens around the holidays. And then they have worked at campgrounds. So lots of different options. And they're not only doing it for a site, but they're doing it actually to earn an income. So whether it's remote work or work camping, continuing to work, I guess, is the key here.
Yeah. And does having a remote job, a traditional remote job, hinder your ability to travel? I would say it does a little bit, because you need internet. So you need to be somewhere where you can either get cellular internet or internet at the campground, some type of internet connection that allows you to do this type of work. And then also, it does sort of limit your ability to go out and see stuff whenever you want. So like with my company, that we have core hours between 10 and 3 that you should be on. And then you can work out other hours beyond that, as long as you're getting your 8 hours of work in. But then we also have the weekends. And that's one reason why we tend to stay places a little bit longer, because it allowed me to still work remotely and still allow us to get out and see everything that we wanted to see. So you just lengthen your stay a little bit. And then when we were going places like down at Big Bend, no internet connection at all, you have to take leave or vacation from your work. So that does hinder you a little bit in your travels.
As would work camping, but we still highly recommend it, because we did have a different backyard. For us, it was every month. So it still was a way to allow us to plan for the future while still traveling and seeing so much of the country.
And some of these traditional remote work jobs also you can participate in health insurance. And, healthcare is the biggest cause of bankruptcy in the U.S. So having a remote job with a company that offers you some health benefits is also a bonus when you're traveling. You just need to make sure that healthcare can go with you wherever you want to go.
So the next one, like Sean said, about, I think it was after 2.5, 3 years into our full-time travel, that I actually quit my job and we started our business, Chicory's Travels. So Chicory's Travels actually within itself has multiple income streams, and we'll talk a little bit about each one. The first one is we started a blog, a travel blog. And yes, you can make money from a blog. We're going to give you a few short examples here, but if you are interested in learning more about how to start a travel blog, I actually have a free, I call it a 7-day course, because it's kind of like you can do a little bit each day for 7 days, but you could also just get that and do it all in a couple of days just to set it up. And then it does take a little while to earn money. Because the way we earn money from the blog, first off, is from ad revenue. And to get any substantial amount of ad revenue, you have to grow your traffic. So that does take a little while, but you can get your blog started right away. And then that's how you start growing the traffic. First, you got to start it, and then you grow it. And then another way, even if you have less traffic, but you could still make money from what's called affiliate income. And affiliate income is where we recommend products or services that we ourselves have used to you, our followers on our blog and our followers on our YouTube channel. And when people purchase using our affiliate link, then we get a commission. It doesn't cost the people any extra money. The key to that, I think, to be successful with affiliate marketing is to only do things that you actually use yourself. Because if you don't and you can't attest to the quality, once people buy a product or two based on your recommendation and it's not a great product, they're not going to come back to you. So make sure that we're kind of sparing with that affiliate income. But there are a few different vendors that you can go through who have affiliate programs. And like I said, in my blogging course, there's more information about that if you're interested in it. So it's on chickeriestravels.com is our blog. You can check it out. And over in the sidebar, there's that how to start a blog. What are some other ways with Chicory Travel we earn money?
Well, we have YouTube, the YouTube channel. Once you have a certain amount of subscribers to your YouTube channel and a certain number of hours that they've viewed, and I'm not sure what that is now.
Always changes.
Yeah, it changes every year. So once you get that, then you can start having ads associated with your videos. And actually that ad revenue, depending on how you are with your YouTube channel, is better than the blog revenue, I think. Maybe not.
Well, I guess it depends on you. So it depends on you and what you want your focus to be. I spend a little more time on the blog. If you look at our YouTube channel, you see that we don't post a whole lot of videos. So our ad revenue is a little bit higher on the blog, but definitely I do know people who are focusing more on their YouTube channels and therefore they're making more. I mean, it's still work. All of this that we're talking about is definitely work. So you're going to pick the thing, hopefully, that you enjoy more. That way might be work, but it's not like, oh, I gotta go to work, right? It's, you enjoy it. So you can make either one as successful as you want it to be.
And then we also have books. We have a few books that we've put out, self-published on Amazon, and those bring us a little bit of money every month. It's not like we're getting rich off of any of this. It's just to have multiple different streams of income in case one or two fall off, we still have some money and we're still able to travel. So we just write about books about things that we're passionate about and RVing. And so we self-publish them through Amazon, and it's really very cheap to do that. And it just takes your time writing and probably getting a few people to look over it and edit it. And then you can sell it on Amazon. And that will bring you a little bit of income in. And they don't have to be like novels or, super long books. Just provide good information to people about whatever it is you're talking about. And as long as you have good information there, people will buy it and will recommend it to others. And that's how you build up your sales there.
And I do want to say, like, our blog and our YouTube channel and our books are about RVing because it's what we really enjoy. It's our hobby. And now it's also become a way to earn income. But just because you're also an RVer, it doesn't mean that's what yours has to be about. If you want to have a blog or YouTube or books or anything like that, it can be completely unrelated to RVing if there's something else that you're interested in, that you're passionate about. But we love RVing and we love sharing our lessons learned, especially so that people don't have to have the same maybe growing pains that we did throughout our RV journey. So another thing that we did to be able to share that experience is, and this is another way that we earn income through Chicory's Travels, is we speak at RV shows and rallies. So we get contracts with different people who hold the RV shows or the RV rallies, and we go and speak at their events and get paid for it.
Yeah, and you get to talk about whatever it is you like to talk about and make money at the same time. And you also get to connect with other RVers and see the latest and greatest for us at the RV shows. So we do a dozen or so of those a year. And again, it's still traveling, and we're still getting to see new places and meet new people. And so that really is a good way to earn money and have fun at the same time. Because if it's something that you really like to do, it's not a job, right? You just stand up there and talk about stuff that you like to talk about anyway. And then at the end of the 3 or 4 days, somebody gives you a check. It's really a nice thing. And once you get in, then as long as you're doing well, it's easy to build on that. And so it's a really good way to make some extra money and another income stream that will allow you to keep traveling.
So also kind of associated with Chicory's Travels, but they have their own websites, is we have a couple of courses. So one of them is called FullTime RV Finance, and you can find it at fulltimерvfinance.com. And finance is something that we're kind of passionate about, but it's another thing that we kind of learned the lesson the hard way. We bought our RV and our truck new and financed them and didn't put very much down. And we kind of learned the hard way about depreciation. And we realized that we were making all these payments. We also had credit cards and things like that. And we were like, if we didn't have any payments, think of what we could do with that money. And we set out on a journey to be debt free. We achieved that goal after about 2.5 years. And in FullTime RV Finance, we cover that process and kind of share how you could do it too. We also talk about things like ways to fund full-time RV travel. We talk about ways to save money on travel. And the biggest module of it, and the one that a lot of people are very interested in, so we've also made it for purchase separately as a standalone module, is the budgeting module. Because budgeting for full-time RV travel, we have learned it's a whole lot more than campgrounds and gas.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so, so mixing the finance and the RVing is two things we're passionate about. And we actually speak about the full-time RV finance stuff at certain rallies and events. So we decided to make a course because it's always popular at the places where we talk about it. So again, just another income stream for us to be able to keep traveling.
And the other course that I have is a blogging course, because I have enjoyed blogging, and it was awesome to find out that I could do it not only as a hobby, but also as income. So I was answering a lot of questions from different people on how you get started. And I started doing like one-on-one calls with people and walking them through, showing my screen on how to do it. But my time was limited, obviously, with how many calls I could take. So I decided to go ahead and create a course. It's called Blogging Tech Made Easy. bloggingtechmadeeasy.com is where you find it. And what I do is I share my screen and I show people the step-by-step process they need to set up a blog, to use Pinterest, to set up email, because these are all components of a blog. But like I said, if you want to just learn a little bit about a blog first before buying that course, although that course is not too expensive, it's only $49. But I do have the free one on Chicory's Travels website as well, if you want to start with that and then kind of decide if you're ready to take the next step.
And then we also have some partnerships that we are involved in that do earn us a little bit of money. One is I have a podcast called Beyond the Wheel with Kenny Phillips from Moving Forward Adventures. And we really started this more of not in any way to make money, but more just because we were really curious about behind the scenes of the RV world. So we started interviewing different businesses and manufacturers of products about, how they got started, what gave them the idea, things like that. And then now we've started making a little bit of money from it. It is a bit of work to put it together, but like I said, it doesn't seem like work when you enjoy it. And so we really, both Kenny and I both really enjoy talking to these business owners and product creators. And so through that passion, we've been able to earn a little bit of money doing that, because once your passion shows through, then you get people advertising with you, you get sponsors, and you get listeners, which is really the big thing. So we're just beginning our second year anniversary will be 20th of September, when our first episode came out in 2018. So we're still chugging along, and like I said, none of this stuff is going to get you rich all by itself, but it does give us various streams of income so that we are able to keep traveling like we want to.
And you can find the podcast on beyondthewheelpodcast.com, or you can go to like your Apple Podcast, Stitcher, Google Play, all those different places, and just search for Beyond the Wheel and find that podcast. We'll also put a link down in the description to this video.
And we also have a lot of giveaways. So if you go to the website, you can see what our current giveaway is and sign up to win whatever it is that we give away.
Yeah, they have a lot of good ones too. And then I have a partnership with 3 other women. A couple of them are also, all 4 of us were full-time RVers when we started our partnership. Now, only one of us is still full-time RVing, and the rest of us are doing what I call now fun-time RVing. So it's whenever we feel like it, we can just hop in the RV and head out and have fun. But my main partnership with them is called Full-Time Freedom Week. And that is an annual event. It's a week long that we have every year. But since it's only once a year, we do actually have the recordings of it available for sale on the website, fulltimefreedomweek.com, throughout the year for anyone who missed it live. And then we also have another blogging course called Blogging Camp. And that one's a little bit different than my personal course that I have, Blogging Tech Made Easy, or my free course. My free course gets you started. My Blogging Tech Made Easy helps you set up the other components that you need. And then finally, Blogging Camp really helps you propel it to the next level. And we talk a lot more in Blogging Camp about monetizing and like really getting it to where you can make money and grow your audience, and even get some of the type of partnerships that Sean talked about through the podcast. You can also get those through blogging as well. So that's what we cover in there. So between those 2 pieces, it's the same partnership that I have, and it also earns me an income.
So we've covered a lot of different streams of income, and we wanted to let you know that it's possible. There's endless ways to make money while you're traveling full time. And we started all these while we were traveling full time. So it really is possible. And you just have to be a little creative and a little aggressive. And you can find lots of fun ways. These are all fun ways to us to make an income stream. And like I said at the beginning, the key is to have multiple income streams, so you're not depending on just one thing, because you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. And like I said, 1 or 2 or more of those income streams could go away. Just look at 2020, for example. A lot of people are out of work now, and if they didn't have other sources of revenue, they may be really struggling. So get as many sources as you can, and then it lessens the worrying of what's going to happen if something happens tomorrow. So we hope you enjoyed the video. Please reach out to us or comment below on any sources of income that you have that we didn't talk about. I guess we didn't really talk about investment income because we don't really use that for travel. We just leave that all to build up for when we eventually want to retire. But if you are like a day trader, there's several people who day trade while traveling full time. Lots of different options. So,
and we didn't mention, because it's not currently an income source for us, but when we first started RVing, we were renting out our home. So we were renting out our home for the first couple of years, and that was an income as well. We ended up selling that because we knew that we were going to be ultimately buying a home in a different location, which is where we are now. So there are many other ways, but those are just a couple of other ideas, especially since they're a little more passive ways. There are so many. As a matter of fact, if you have another suggestion, we didn't bring it up, drop it in the comments below to help everyone else, because there really are unlimited opportunities, I feel like, and so many ways to learn how to do it. When we started the blogging and the podcast and public speaking, like these are all things we kind of had to learn. Like, where do you go to get for public speaking? Where do we go to get the gigs, right? For blogging, I had to learn how to create a blog. Sean had to learn how to edit audio for podcasting. And we just taught ourselves. There's lots of free resources out there that you can use to do that.
And there's other people like us just willing to share what we've learned.
Yeah.
So feel free to reach out and enjoy your travels, safe travels, and be sure to like or subscribe, or like or dislike or subscribe to the video. And we'll talk to you on the next one.
And hope to see you on the road sometime.
Bye, everybody.